Greetings, Fire Chargers, Darkblade here, and it's a new year, so you know what that means. I'm going to test out Google Translate to see if it has gotten any better than it was the previous year. And what better way to test if Google Translate has gotten better than with this compendium of Google Translate errors. So this is the Tales of Times Forgotten blog run by this person, Spencer Alexander McDaniel, and this specific blog post was written on August 17th, 2019. And as you can see, that's the title. And it goes through some, example sentences that Google Translate mangles. And I've previously tested this in a video on my own channel, but I'm going to test it again because a lot of things have happened since I last tested this blog post on Google Translate. One of them being that Google Translate has received a major update. So we are going to see how it is. Note, due to my current level, I will be placing more or less absolute faith in McDaniel's translations. As I get better at Latin and ancient Greek, I will try to provide my own translations, but I'll stop if I find out that they consistently are very close to exactly in line with McDaniel's translations. So this hook is basically talking about how Google Translate is bad. Why is Google Translate so bad at Google Translate? Quid est tam malus ad latine et Graece antiquae? Ad latini. Wait, that doesn't make sense, because latini is the genitive or dative form, but ad is an accusative preposition. Ad means to. It takes the accusative case, but Latini and Graecae antiquae are not accusative forms. They're genitive or dative forms. So this is my first test. Why is Google Translate so bad at Latin and ancient Greek? That exact sentence. So this is what it gives me this time around. Cur Google tam malus apud Latinos quam in Graecos antiquos translate est. First of all, it broke up the Google Translate, which should be thought of in this context as one unit. It's weird that it broke it up. And now it seems to be using, the accusative plural. Let me just, what case to, and apud primarily takes the accusative, so at least it's showing more consistency with preposition object agreement. So I guess that's a bit of an improvement. And this is McDaniel's methodology. These are all extremely easy sentences to translate, what you might call baby line. This first sentence is O vir magne, populum Romanum serva. And let me just copy and wait for this to load. And it gets an, oh, great man, save the Roman people. Oh, great man, protect the Roman people. That is pretty much spot on for And in this case, I guess you could claim that there is a technical difference between them, and that protect implies preventing danger, while all save implies removing someone out of danger that is already present. But anyway, this seems to have been greatly improved from at least what McDaniel got. Borderline perfect. Si nihil me satiat, saepe ero. Ero. I don't know. And copy. If nothing satisfies me, I often err. And that is word for word identical to McDaniel's translation. If nothing satisfies me, often mistaken. Well, that one is close. Naute filiabus meis nihil dant. The sailor's daughters give nothing to my daughters. Okay? I mean, the sailors give nothing to my daughters. Oh, wait, I accidentally copied McDaniel's translation and not the original Latin. The sailors give nothing to my daughters. Well, other than the article, that's basically identical to McDaniel's translation, it's word for, and given the article, it's word for word identical to my translation, agricolas and agrovideo. I'm trying to get the vowel length right, which is not that easy since McDaniel did not include the vowel length markers in this typing. Then again, oh wait, I copied the translation again. And again, and vowel length, including the macrons, might throw the Google Translate machine off. You know, vowel length is technically phonemic, but I won't give McDaniel any flack for that at all. I see farmers in the field, and that is, I see the farmers in the field. Well, since the original Latin doesn't actually include articles, that is basically identical for all intents and purposes. Amicum filii mei hodie vidus. You watch my son's friend today. No, vides is the second person singular subjunctive. That's like trying to make a soft request. If it was just vide, then that would be the imperative forms. In fact, we do see an imperative form earlier in the first sentence. Ovier magne populorum Romanum serva. If it's just the stem without that final re or anything else on it, that is the second person singular imperative form. Try to copy the Latin and not the translation again. Copy. And you see my son's friend today. Well, video can also mean see, so I'll mark that up as basically fine. Anyway, it's still an improvement. Puellae et pueri formam rosarum amant. Girls and boys love the beauty of roses. Girls and boys love the shape of roses. Pretty similar to what Google Translate got when McDaniel originally tested it out. Google Translate technically got this one correct, but the formation translation is unidiomatic. Although the word forma can mean form, in this case it clearly means beauty, which is another possible meaning of the word. I don't know whether I should deduct points for as if you take it literally. I guess it was correct, Non debes filias et filios tuos terere. 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 And that you shouldn't scare your daughters and sons. You should not frighten your daughters and sons. That's basically the same thing as what McDaniel got. Children are not expected to frighten your children. So far, the Latin ones is all gotten better since McDaniel's test, which is to be expected. I mean, even between my previous video going through McDaniel's list and this video, Google Translate had a very major update, adding over 100 languages. Conclusion: Google Translate cannot translate Latin. It cannot even pretend to be able to translate Latin. Google Translate Latin is utterly hopeless. Now let's see how awful Google Translate is at ancient Greek. So, in all of these cases, well, almost all, Google Translate did make significant improvements, getting to something that was format either semantically or verbally identical to what McDaniel wrote. Now, can you speak how this, however, is one error. Let me throw back to something that McDaniel said earlier here. Anyone who knows any Latin, when he was talking about how elementary or example sentences are, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. Anyone who knows any Latin whatsoever could translate any one of these sentences easy. In fact, even if you know no Latin at all, you could probably guess the meaning of one of these sentences based on English cognates and not be far off. And I think this is another case. You do not need to know Latin in order to know why what Google Translate has here is wrong. Now let's get to the ancient Greek section. Now, this is, as it turns out, McDaniel says, Google Translate struggles with Latin are only the beginning when it comes to its struggles with ancient Greek. She then goes on to inform us that Google Translate doesn't actually have an option for ancient Greek, but it does for contemporary Greek. And McDaniel is going to use that modern Greek option to fill in ancient Greek sentences. Once again, McDaniel is emphasizing that she is using very basic sentences. If you know any ancient Greek at all, you should be able to get this. And then she adds, the results were even more hilariously bad than the ones I got from Latin. Here are my results. Hoi theoi tus anthropus polemu pausin. The gods are stopping the humans from war. Copy. Oh wait. Now switch that and post it. And delete the Latin sentence. Go to Greek. The gods stopped the war between men. I guess that's okay. And better what Google Translate got when McDaniel previously tested oi anthropoi, the word final oi omega iota is considered short. That's why the acute is able to be all the way up here in the third to last syllable, oianthropoi, which means the people or the men. Oxene proston teon poremu pausontai. Pauontai. Keep in mind that many of these symbols that are being used here, like this rough breathing mark on this iota, this smooth breathing mark on this alpha, and what else? This circumflex on this omega, and this typeface, this circumflex looks like a squiggle, don't exist in the modern Greek writing. Oianthro, humans, O stranger, cease to worship the gods of war. People, they say, they stop fighting before the war. It's true. I don't know whether to consider this better, worse, or meh. By the way, McDaniel's translation, in case I haven't already said it, is the people, O foreigner, are ceasing from war on behalf of the gods. Pote, o politai, tois, decoys, petestai, uk, etel, lesse, ete. When, O citizens, will you not be willing to be persuaded by the unjust men? I'm trying to be as close as I can to mid-4th century in classical pronunciation as I can. Where in English we're generally taught to regard this epsilon as R short E sound in the word men, and the eta as more like the A sound as more like the AY sound in the word may. However, in ancient Greek, it was actually the other way around. The epsilon made the A sound, but just always short. And the eta made the E sound, like in men, but always long. Oh, when, O citizens, will you not be willing to believe the unjust? And Google Translate, when polytheists do the judges convince you of that? So, I think it is a lot better, quite close to McDaniel's translation is. Potetas tu polemu aetias utoi lexusin en te bule. By the way, the iota subscript doesn't exist either. And from what I hear, from what the Complete Ancient Greek by Gavin Betts and Alan Henry seems to imply that iota subscript, at least in the area that they're covering, which is from about 400 to BC to the time rise of Alexander the Great. This iota subscript does not actually contribute to the pronunciation. When will these people speak out in the council about the causes of the war? And the causes of war. Well, or you guess you could say the causes of the war, as there is a tool, the, before the word for war. And when will these men say the causes of the war of council? When McDaniel tested it, Google Translate got when of war because of what they say in Parliament. Yeah, this is better, and I think quite close to what McDaniel's translation is. When will these men say the Saint 5. Polakis, that means many times, I think. Eragon, or Atenaioi, kai peri tes tes arceus tu demu mu kai peri tu koinu agatu. Often the Athenians were speaking about the rule of the people and the common good. The Athenians often spoke about the beginning of the demos and about the common goods. The rule of the people. Well, this word arche is a quite broad beginning, is, I think, one of the points in its semantic range. Yeah, and Google Translate. Many times the Athenians say about the municipality and the common good. So I think Google Translate is marginally better, but not a lot. Conclusion. Google Translate's setting for modern Greek cannot handle ancient Greek, and McDaniel doubts that it can handle modern Greek either. The moral of the story is that you should never try to use into any translation involving TED languages, because of what Google Translate gives you is almost 100% to be hopelessly wrong. On the positive side, though, at least I know that classicists will not be replaced by computer translators anytime in the near future. Maybe McDaniel can do a follow-up on this involving ChatGPT instead. That is all for this. Wait, I actually do want to. I am looking at for a specific sentence. This is what I was looking for. Google Translate got every single one of them wrong. Most of them egregiously so. Not only that, but it got them wrong. Many of them wrong in ways no human being ever would. In many cases, it just left out half the sentence for no apparent reason. So here you can see it got better at almost all of them in the intervening 2019, so 5.25 years. No, 5.33 years. Anyway, that is all for this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow. Wait, before I end the video, I want to know, maybe someone out there can test Google Translate on some other dead languages. For example, do its Chinese settings, which now include Cantonese, handle classical Chinese? Could Russian handle Old Church Slav? Could its Russian option handle Old Church Slavonic? Can I input classical Japanese into the Google Translate Japanese setting and get something right? There's also Tibetan, I think. Oh yeah, Tibetan's there. Could I put something from long, long ago and still get something right? Probably, since Tibetan spelling hasn't been updated to account for the past 1400 years of sound changes. Maybe Old Tamil in the Tamil section, or using this precious Sanskrit section for something. Anyway, now that's the end for this video. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Dark Blade out.